Hey, what's going on YouTube? This is Chaos-Reighn here once again. I have actually, I just uploaded a video a few hours ago, but I had a request from one of my viewers who likes to uh, follow along my iShot build guides and stuff like that. And he has requested that I cover blueprints. More specifically, he wants me to cover replica blueprints, but I instead said I would cover the generic contract slash blueprint, like play-by-play, pretty much, and go over the different ups and downs of using or revealing or doing different blueprints. So let me just finish that. Okay. So to start, I did do a couple contracts off recording. I just wanted to do some lockpicking, see how good it was. It was pretty fun. I got some synth stuff, nothing really crazy, sadly. One thing cool, excuse me, one thing cool I did get is a fractured phasing jewel, and I think I have somewhere a fractured T1 crit multi jewel. There it is, I think. Yeah, fractured T1 crit multi at max roll, and I kind of appreciate that because you don't really get a lot of good fractured jewels. Other than that, let's get started. So, first things first, different contracts. Well, I actually have a whole tab dedicated to this, and I even have my heist locker full. This is standard again, so you know I have a lot. So let's just go contract. As you see, there's a lot that's lit up. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over the different types of contracts, what's good about the different types of contracts, and why you should be running them. So, let's see. I think this is a good enough counter thaumaturgy, engineering, demolition, trap disarmament, perception, lockpicking, agility. I have deception here, right? Yeah, I do. Okay. So these are the different contracts. So before I get into the blueprints, let's go over the different contracts. I'm gonna take and go to the rogue harbor. Well, for contracts, you can rate them in tiers based on how profitable they are, how easy they are, how quick they are, so on and so forth. Tier 1, or S tier if you want to call it, would be Deception. Now, Deception is S tier for two reasons, or, well, more than two, but two main reasons. The first reason it's S tier is because the doors don't close when you're leaving, so you literally can run out and just get it done, get it over with. The second thing is for blueprint reveals. For that, I actually have to get a blueprint. And for the sake of the video, let's see if I can find any replica. Alright, that'll do. For the sake of the video, I'll pull out a replica blueprint.
What are you after?
Now, the other reason why you want to run Gianna, or sorry, Deception, is because Deception has Gianna as the main girl. Gianna gives you a 40% discount inside of your blueprints, or to basically reveal. See, as you see, I have 4 reveals with her, meaning I've ran 4 different contracts with her. Usually what I do is I only reveal wings with her, and then I reveal everything else using just random stuff. But for the sake of the video, I'm actually going to go pull out a stockpile of markers, and let's get this rolled up, and then when I'm done explaining everything, I'll run it so you can kind of see how things are. So you can do 2 different types of reveals: the L3 plus X, or the reveal entire wing, which cost 3,500 or 3,300, or the regular one, which is 1,600. Now, for this video, because it only, let's see, it costs 5 reveals for everything, so it's cost 5 reveals. That little eyeball that you see right there, that's 5 reveals of one type. Now I could do it if I went over here, but as you see, he costs a lot more. So we're just going to reveal the wing, and reveal the wing. Then we're going to go over and we're going to reveal the things we want.
Here's what I know.
I like to run those, so I'm going to run those, and run that, run that. We're just going to reveal what we can real quick, just so we can kind of get a decent look at what a normal blueprint is. Okay, so that's the blueprint that's revealed. Now, to the different types of contracts. Tier 1 or S tier, whichever you want to call it, would be deception. Now, the second reason why deception's good, aside from the reveals, which are super important, is the fact that there's no doors on the way out, and the fact that you get a lot of stack decks in it. Now, just so we can kind of see what this is like, I will Alkin go a deception real quick.
Yes.
Excuse me. And as you see, Gianna is the leader, or the main girl you can choose for deception. Now, this isn't the only one you can do for deception, though, or for Gianna, though. If you look, I should have a perception in here, perception level 1. So if you go here and you look at Gianna, see how it says perception level 2 max level? That means you can only run Gianna up to level 2 or perception level 2 blueprints, and that's it.
Your star has
If you
arrived.
have if that said perception level 3 through 5, you cannot run it. The other one you can do is counter thaumaturgy. Let me see, there it is. Counter thaumaturgy should be somewhat similar, except it's level 3. Meaning you can run a counter thaumaturgy 1 through 3, but 4 and 5 you cannot run. There is ways around this, which will be more of an advanced guide, but we'll get to that later. Aside from running the perception, which I'm going to run real quick in a second here, there are also a couple other really, really good ones. Lockpicking is an A tier, or yeah, an A tier basically. And the reason it's only A is because lockpicking is good for currency and for fragments and stuff like that. You're going to pay back whatever you spend in the lockpicking, and you usually can open up most, if not all, of the chests in it. But other than that, it's just kind of, that's it. That's all you're getting. You're not getting any major reveals like you are with Gianna. So Gianna is big with counter thaumaturgy, deception, and perception. So just try and remember those. Let's pull our deception aside so I can kind of show you. So then we have, where is it? We have the B tier, which would be demolition. Now demolition is really, really good because you have a lot of different things you can do. First and foremost, Vendiri is usually the leader of demolition. If I go in here, I look, there's Vendiri. Now Vendiri has the ability to double items in chests. On top of that, you can usually, if you're doing demolition, you're always going to have at least 1 or 2 decent rooms that are good, and that'll be very, very valuable for you to double. So demolition, I believe, has delirium. It has, what is it, breach, legion, a couple other really good ones, all bound up into one. Trap disarmament is probably the C tier, and with trap disarmament we'll put this one as like a C plus, and we'll go with engineering, the C tier. So first we'll start with agility. Agility is kind of like running lockpicking. With it has currency rooms, but it also has a lot of other random rooms that are just kind of subpar. You get, your main leader is Tulina instead of Karst, so you're not going to get like full benefit of Karst or whatever as you would. Karst can only do a level 2 of this, so if this said level 3 or higher, you wouldn't be able to do it. And of course I have a +1 level to my Karst, which again I can cover in an advanced video, so that's why he's even able to do this one. If otherwise he's not able to do it at all. And Tulina is in like the C+ tier because a lot of her stuff is you have to either wait for her to do the lasers, or you have to try and dash through them and not die and hope you can, you know, survive a tick or two of those lasers. And other than that, it's a lot slower than running Karst. Karst is usually just open a door, open a box, open a door, open a box, and then leave and do the same. She's that, but she also has to go through traps and disarm the traps and all this other stuff and all that good stuff. So then we will bring to the worst ones, the engineering and the trap disarmament. Now these are worst not because of any particular reason. They're just worse because they have a little bit of a slow interaction. Now,
Long as
I
I
say
can bring my
slow, even though
gadgets.
Isla is one of the better of the speedsters. Like she can just disarm anything super quick, you know, open doors, everything like that. That's all fast, but usually it's from my experience, there's just a lot of it, and it ends up being just because she does it fast doesn't mean it's better because there's just so much to do. And of course, the rooms that she gives are they're not very good. They're okay, but you know you can do better for sure. So lastly, we will bring ourselves to the trap disarmament, and trap disarmament is Vendiri again. So Vendiri, like I said, he's also a B tier, I believe I said, which was the demolition. Why is this a C tier? Well, it's because some of the rooms in this are pretty garbage. Like you're not going to get a whole lot of good stuff. On top of it, um, trap disarmament is one of the slower of the types, and Vindiri is kind of a buffoon when it comes to it, so he'll just like go back and forth and bug out, and it's just part of the game. Game's unfortunate, you know, what's going on. But yeah, it's okay if you're looking for contracts to run and you just want to run like 5 or 10, run lockpicking and deception and demolition in that order. And then for a secondary, if you remember the levels I said, perception and counter thaumaturgy. So let's go ahead and put this in, and then as I run
Okay,
this
then.
deception, I will give you an explanation of why. Um, I think I just put a lock. Oh, it's right there. That's lockpicking too. Perception. Okay. And I'll give you an explanation on the different, excuse me, the different blueprints and why you should be running, you know, why you really should be running them and revealing rooms, etc., etc. Now, first thing I will say is the blueprints usually when it comes to
Hold your
level,
breath
it
in
doesn't
this
really
caution.
matter all that much. The overall rewards you get, that'll show. Like for example, you're gonna open a chest and not get like the most amazing rewards ever, right? But you are going to get at least some rewards. Like the rewards are obviously nerfed when you run a lower tier versus running a higher tier, but that doesn't mean it's bad to run it.
Oi,
That just means
keep
you're
it
not getting
down.
as much as you could.
Hitting each other
However,
scoped.
everything is
Here,
so much
prove it.
easier that it ends up balancing out. It ends up being
Gives me an idea
it
for a
ends up just
character.
basically being a cakewalk. All right, so let's see. Got a couple of things here. Kill this guy.
Always knew I'd knock him dead.
Now there
Don't
are
be
4
so
main types of
paranoid.
blueprints.
Look,
They are also going to
nothing's
be
here.
rated in the S, A, B, and C tier, and they
Find his keepers,
are
eh?
relatively simple to remember,
We're
and
just
I
looking
will
around, I
try
swear.
and keep it short and sweet because there's a lot less of them, and you know you're not going to be running nearly as many blueprints. Now, I was requested to
Ooh,
specifically make a
so
video based
pretty.
on the replicas. And I will tell you firsthand that replicas are very, very good, but they are not necessarily the best. And I'll
Always knew
explain my
I'd knock him dead.
reasoning. I'll explain my reasoning after this. Couple chaos, that's pretty cool. Another chaos. I don't know what that was, but it looks like it would have hurt. Alright. Alright. So now one of two things is going to happen. I'm going to make it all the way out and not die, or I'm going to die and lose everything. But if I die and lose
In this
everything,
case,
it's part of the
double
it's part of the
crossing.
video, and
Oh,
you'll kind of see
I'm
like the
not good.
downsides of
Now rush to the exit.
running a heist. You can lose
Security
all your
incoming.
loot, and it's kind of a shame if you do. Okay. Ooh, her
Keep
Dean.
it up, Exile.
Alright, I'll go back to that. I'm gonna cross the bridge instead, if I don't miss the bridge. Alright, and that's a deception contract. As you saw, there's no doors leaving, and every single other one, there's always a door leaving. Ah, look, cold iron point. Cool. So in that one contract, I got 10 stack decks, 3 Chaos Orbs, and a bunch of other just small stuff, along with a decent divination card called Haunting Shadows. It can give you one of 4 metamorph items, and one of the metamorph items is still pretty good. That is the ring that allows you to cast novas like they're projectiles, kind of, and it's just a really good ring. So all that, that's just off of one deception, and this is pretty much why deception contracts are going to be the most valuable to either keep, run, or anything like that. Just kind of dump everything. Alright. And I'm going to put this aside. Okay. I plan to make another video. Well, I planned this is a backup plan. If it interests people, I'm going to roll these on a video to kind of show you what you're looking for, and show you how cheap it'll be to do so.
What
So
have
let's
you got for me? Oh, I know who owns
Alright, that's not very much. Okay, so now let's get to the different types of blueprints. First and foremost, there is the replica one, which is the one I revealed. Now, replicas can give you either replicas or experimental bases, I believe the other one is. And each one of these things has its own, ups and downs to using them. Obviously, if you're using or I mean, each one of the blueprints has their ups and downs to doing them, and I'll get to them as I go. For the sake of the video, I'm just going to be running the replica one. As I talk, I'll start revealing or putting my characters on here so I can do it. Let's see.
Your orders shall be my law.
Okay, so I will tell you this. There is a kind of a mathematical thing you want to do here.
Requested, Kira. Yes.
If you're setting up your guys, always do the reducers first. Now, Karst and Nanette are both reducers, and then Vendiri increases, but he also gives you the option to double. Then you can do that for here too.
Including me.
And we'll do that. Karst.
Oi, new Vindy'd be on this one.
Could you have the go-ahead?
Alright, so this is a revealed blueprint. You get that little stamp at the bottom saying it's revealed, pretty much. You just scour and... oh, good. Good enough. Okay. So, replicas has replica uniques, which can be any number of things. I actually have a whole collection of them. Let me... where is it? There it is. Pretty much all these. Now, replica uniques can pretty much be pretty bad, whereas like this one's, I don't think anyone's found a use for it. In my opinion, it's really horrible. It's not a very good replica in the slightest. To something that's actually pretty decent, which is like the replica Abyssus, which gives you a lot of flat damage to attacks and a lot of melee crit strike multi if you're gonna go that route. And of course there's, some subpar ones. I'm actually playing with this in League, and I can explain why later, or if you actually look at my video, you can see it. And of course there's really like niche ones that are good for certain builds. And then you get to like the money ones, which is like replica Headhunter, replica Eternity Shroud, or like the collectible ones. But that's the story for another day. And then the other thing you can get is experimental bases. I don't think I have a tab full of them anymore. Let me kind of skim my stuff real quick. I did at one point, but I think I gave them all away or threw them away or something. I think it's here maybe. Okay, here are some of them. So, just for an example, we have this claw. This claw has it's called the malign whatever. We're just gonna call it the fangs, which has an implicit of chaos damage. Now on top of it, I actually managed to roll T2 flat, T1 flat chaos, and T flat hybrid, which I thought was really cool. And of course, it has chance to poison on hit and cold res. Now I can finish this off and make a really cool chaos claw, but I'm just gonna leave it in here because this is a remove only tab and I don't have room for it right now. Then we have like this bow, which is the Foundry bow, which adds flat fire damage. I don't know if the Foundry is the T1 version. Either way, it's a really cool bow. I do enjoy the bow personally, and I think it's a very nice like little thing. Then we have stuff like these, the staffs. I think these staffs are really popular for, I don't know about this one, but one of the staffs is really popular for discharge and stuff like that. So, some of the bases are pretty good, some of them are pretty bad, but, you know, it is what it is. Then we have the, what is it called? The, let's go to the gem ones since, you know, we're in our tab with all our gems. The unusual gem ones, they introduced all alternate quality gems to everything, as I'm sure a lot of you watching this already know, but just in case I'll go over it. And the alternate quality gems can do really good stuff or really mess stuff. Just an example. This is an alternate quality 2120 Ice Bite support. Now, normally regular Ice Bite gives you, I think it's like 10% or 20% damage, or I think it's 10% damage for quality or something. This one gives you 2% increased damage per frenzy charge, which you wouldn't think is a whole lot, but if you're stacking up to 7, 8, or 9 frenzies and they're always up, you're just always going to have that. Where I believe regular Ice Bite is if they're chilled or something. Now, obviously, some of these aren't that great. Like this one is supported skills have increased area of effect, which is, I don't know who would use volley and and area of effect, what skill would, but I also don't know everything about this game. And on top of the gems, you can get the regrading lenses, which allow you to make the gems, basically. And there's also a special unique helmet, which is kind of meh. Then there's the Thieves' Trinkets. Now, the Thieves' Trinkets in Heist League themselves, they were expensive. For example, this 4% Regal 2X, this was like, I believe, like 60, 70 exalts. Now, it's probably not even worth half of that. Now, unfortunately, the Regal drop rate has been gutted since they did it. However, you can still run and get other trinkets. I just have this left over from Heist, so I just kind of left it on this character. And, you know, it's still worth it to do it. It's just not as worth it as running these. Now, when I compare these, I would say these two are going to be S tier. Just because unusual gems can range from like 1 to 2x to 15x pretty easily. And on average, you can get 1 to 2x per gem for the most part, as long as you know what you're picking, because you usually get like 5 or 6 gems to pick from. Just pick the one that looks the best, and usually you're good. Or if you have a way to, you know, have someone check for you, you're good there. Thieves' Trinket, I would have to definitely rank in the B tier, and it's going from S to B, and the reason is I don't really think there's any blueprint that kind of qualifies as an A tier. There's none that's like just good enough to be there. I would have said this would be an A tier in Heist League specifically, just because you can find those trinkets even if they were rare. But it's, you know, overrunning gems or replicas, it was never really that good. Now, I'm gonna kind of say, like, obviously you can get currency at the end, not just the trinkets, but it's meh. Most I got is 1x, and it's like I can get that with just getting a replica that's worth 3 or 4x, or getting some gems or anything like that. So then we're gonna go to our kind of little. This is gonna be floating around, and I say it's floating around because there are a couple of reasons why this is good. First and foremost, you can get the Expeditions End unique, which is a very, very powerful unique in here. It's very rare to drop, but that's not the only reason. The second reason would be because on top of getting that, there's also what you call smart loot. Now, smart loot they introduced into the game, which basically the items have a chance to roll higher rolls. They just do. That's just what they do. And sometimes you'll see pretty much items like this. A lot of these experimental bases are smart loot. Like, if you look at this is a T1, T2, T2, T3, T2. And this is extremely, extremely common in this kind of situation, in this kind of this environment. So if you're, and on top of it, the enchanted armaments not only have those kind of rolls, but they have enchantments, which, for example, like this right here, this is my main bow. I had to actually, I'll get to that in a second. I had to actually put that enchantment on, but you can have these enchantments just already on your weapons. Now, this is coming from a tempering orb, and the armor one's is the tailoring org. The armor one has their own little buff effects, and the weapon ones has their own little buff effects, and there's a pretty big list of mods, and some of them just throw the item into very, very powerful levels. Now, the reason why I say it's floating is because a lot of times it's going to be an F tier. It's not even going to be a C tier, because you're going to go to the end, you're going to look at everything, and you're just going to walk out and be disappointed. But that one or two times, it's going to come up to an S tier, because you maybe find a, let's say, just an example, you find a 6-link astral plate, which also has increased defenses or something like that, and you don't want to make an influence astral plate, you just need armor or something. Or in my case, I actually found a glorious plate with a % increased life and no minus sockets or something like that. Now, I actually I influenced it first, 30 quality, treasured it, and made a really cool 560 life, I think it had, Shaper Crusader Calm's Heart. Now, the influence obviously just for the bling, but I mean, when you can do all kinds of stuff like that. There are all kinds of armor pieces and all kinds of weapon bases and stuff like that that'll have really cool stuff. And when you find those, that's what really brings it up to like the A, B, and C tier. But the S tier is definitely going to be when you find those crazy ones. And that'll outdo like anything here except for the one of Replica Baited Breath. I've actually had bases which I've picked up out of there and then turned around and sold for upwards of like 60 or 70 exalts just because it had so many high rolls. Let me see what this guy wants. Yeah, I don't care. You can have that, dude. You are not getting that. No. And you want a map? Yeah, go for it. Alright. Looks like everyone didn't want to sell me their stuff. Big old. Okay, so without further ado, I'm going to get to the blueprint, and let's see about getting some decent replicas. Now, I am doing this on a level 71 to show you basically that you don't have to be running the highest tier content to be getting a good profit. You can basically buy the lower tier blueprints, buy some markers, and you can still make a profit even if you buy the blueprints and markers. Now, you will need reveals, or you'll need to pay someone for their reveals and give them the markers or something. Like, I've done that in the past. There are a couple people who sit there and grind them out and never run the blueprints. Or you can, just grind them yourself if you really want to.
Improvisation. Lovely.
Alright, so as you can see, we have 3 people with us with our gun heist. And with 3 people, the big thing is you will be able to open more things. As you saw, my alert level barely nicked up with that one. We're just gonna kill everything. Alright, so remember, this is a level 71 area, and we still got 4 stack decks. If you remember, in our contract, we got 4 stack decks. Ooh, okay. Alright, so right there, this is an extreme example. We just got 2 Iron Bard cards and 2 Patient cards. Now what happened is we actually dropped 1, and then Vindiri doubled it for us. So this is one of those examples where, usually you see, oh, hey, I got something really big, so I'm going to go and secure it. And this is a advanced tip. If you do get something like this, if you get something really cool, make sure you secure it if it's early enough in your blueprint. I'm going to link it and be like, TY Heist. TY Vindiri. Alright. So now if you look, they don't have that little locked thing next to them. So you basically get to keep those. Those are yours now. Now we're going to go in here.
Finders keepers, eh?
Just kind of clear everything. Alright. So I'm going to go over armors real quick. Armor chests are really good for 1, for collectors, 2, if you're looking to get a unique and you want to 6-link it easier. So in armor chests, you can find basically 30 quality uniques, and as a lot of you are I'm sure are aware of, 30 quality uniques are a little easier to link than just your standard
You take that.
your standard regular quality ones. Alright.
Hold on to your butts.
I'll try not to make this too long, but as I did go over a long explanation, this is probably going to be a longer video anyway.
Saw that ending.
I've been saving this one just for you.
Now, this league especially, Heist is even stronger than before, and that's because Catalyst got 3 new Catalysts, which are all really strong. So, I'm not saying I'm going to get them, but, you know, I can just open these up, and you'll see what I mean by, you know, the value and profit you get off these.
If you don't want it, I'll take it.
Alright, we got 2 of the new ones, the Noxious Catalyst and 1 old one.
Tricky, but
The
not
Noxious
impossible.
one, what is that? That's a physical and the chaos damage modifiers. That's cool. This time we got 2 fertile. Ooh, the life ones and 2 turbulent. I like the turbulent, but the fertiles are also good for a lot of builds too. So, all right.
Ooh.
Tougher than I look, eh? She's a beaut.
Perfect, perfect, perfect. Okay. So, you just open this up. Nothing. Cool. All right. So now we have come to our replicas and our experimental bases. So this is where I can kind of show you what I mean. This doesn't look like a crazy good one. Let me go open that other chest before I forget. Cool. Chaos Orb. Alright. So let's see. Replica Veil of the Night. A second Replica Veil of the Night. This doesn't happen this shouldn't happen in my opinion, but it does. Then you have the experimental uniques. Normally, I'd actually be like, oh, hey, let me look at these. These might be really good. However, if you remember, we're in a level 71 area, so none of these can roll as high as you'd want them to. Like, I'd even pick up this ring if this was in an 80 plus, but I'm just kind of here to show you, you know, that you can get good drops on a lower one, which this is an extreme example. Obviously, getting 2 Iron Bards is really, really good, especially in Standard, because, you know, everyone in Standard is making crazy gear. Alright, so now that the alarm is set off, it's, you know, we have to escape, big whoop, just kind of, doesn't look like anything, yep, no one's coming, alright. So we finished our first wing. How much loot do we have? We have a decent amount. We'll just drop that. Alright. Now let's go to our second wing. As you saw, we revealed 3 wings. That means you have 3 opportunities to get something really big, or you have 3 opportunities to just get a bunch of small stuff and add them all up. Example right there, a whole bunch of, let me just kill these guys, a whole bunch of stacked decks and just cards that we might want for, you know, one reason or another. I always pick up all the cards because I end up like turning a big stack of them in Standard and doing all that. Alright, yeah, I have enough to open this.
Did I bring the thing? Did I?
Another good thing with running the blueprints is opening the doors is always going to be much quicker than opening the doors in a contract. That's because all of your rogue gear adds up. Now, as I said, depending on interest and if anything like that, I will see about making a video on how to roll your rogue gear. But for now, we're just going to run this blueprint, and after we wrap up the blueprint, I'll wrap up my video, and hopefully this was informative.
Did I bring the thing?
I hope you will share that.
Confangled dang contraption.
Now another thing, real big reason why to run these is these unique ones. Now that they made uniques non-league specific, pretty much, you can get any unique in those, including uniques that you were never able to get before, such as Asnaths, such as what do you call it? The helmet from. Oh, I'm trying to think of it. That used to be from only running semis is now more available, etc., etc. Okay, so in this wing we actually open an escape route. An escape route is exactly what it sounds like. It's basically a shortcut to get out, so you don't have to run all the way back to the beginning. So let's see.
Almost there. Don't screw it up.
So what do we have? Replica Toolfall, Replica Allopathy, and a couple of just random niche uniques. Let's see. Low tiers, don't care. Not uniques, rares, I'm sorry. Don't care. Alright, let's just pick up my chrome. Alright, so in between these, we can choose allopathy or tool fall. Now, I don't really think I've seen very many tool falls, and I have a lot of those, so I'm just going to pick up the tool fall. What it's worth, I wouldn't say more than like 20-30 C. In standard, I'd probably upcharge just because, you know, I own the market on replicas. But other than that, that's just basically me. I spent the time in a Heist League to go do hundreds and hundreds of replica blueprints because I was trying to collect them. I currently own all of them except for the Bated Breath. Alright, let's put all of our cards away. So let's say, just for an example, if we were only counting this in stacked decks, as you saw, we just put 20 in, 30 in, 39 stacked decks. We got one replica, so replica tool fall, and then we got a bunch of just small currency, catalysts, and miscellaneous cards, if we're not counting the 2 iron bards. So it's 39 stacked decks, a replica tool fall, and 2 wings, and we still have 1 more wing. So if you do the math, I believe stacked decks are still 1-to-1. I think they're 1-to-2 chaos or something like that, because I think they're more valuable because certain cards, basically the value of the decks will be the value of the cards and how much chaos it takes to get 1x. So I think they're a little more expensive. So all in all, within 1 blueprint, I'd like to say I can probably sell them for like 6cc. They might be 2c each, but I'm not 100% positive. I don't know what pricing is in standard, and I definitely don't know what it is in league because I'm not like too into it right this second.
Keep that little find.
Interesting.
This needs a big one.
Oh, we got a delirium one. Alright, that's cool.
Ha! Not too hard.
So we don't have karst on this one, so everything is going to give us a little more alert level. So this is both good and bad. I mean, this is good because that means we spend less time opening small chests and picking up those. It's bad because now we can open up less small chests, so let's just ignore any small chests we see. It's unfortunate, but karst is kind of the only reason we're able to do those efficiently. Might as well pick up that.
We survived?
Oh, we even got a currency room.
Is gone.
Tricky, but not impossible.
So that got us 6 spinners, nothing really great. Come on, open it. That's what I mean by Vendiri being buggy. Open it. Alright. Oh, and you can get cluster jewels. Cluster jewels are really cool. And pretty decently priced too. They're gonna get you profit. Unfortunately, I'm not in a higher level area, so I'm not gonna worry about it, but... So let's see, we got 15 splinters so far.
Fun.
Back to stealth.
I hope you don't expect.
Haven't come across this meat before. Well, let's give it a go.
We're at the limits of our plan now.
Oh, that's right. You can get delirious maps now. Don't need that anymore. So let's see. I don't have a lot of alert level, so what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna go get that currency one, and then if I have any space after the fact. Ooh, I forgot to turn off something, huh? Alright.
Oh, I've got just the contraption for this.
Okay. So some of those are like little traps that'll shoot things at you. You gotta turn it off, but I made it. I'm fine.
Almost hear their thoughts. Death won the way, or not. My will is their command. I shall make it happen.
Alright, that's not bad. 2 exalted shards. And then I got a double on my currency, I think. Yeah, I did.
I'm old, but you'll still die sooner.
Alright, so let's see. I don't know why these keep spawning. There's something that spawns them and I don't know what it is. Something dinked. What is it? Ooh, another chaos sword. Wow. Alright. Bunch of chisels.
Flawless
And
execution.
here we go, our next batch of replicas. Alright. So let's see here. We have a 6-socket 4-linked replica Chaos-Reighn, a replica prism weave, a random staff with so rolls, a replica bitter dream, and a replica blood sacrifice. Now the Chaos-Reighn is cool, but I already have a 6-link one, so that would probably be my normal pickup just because you can probably sell it for a bit. I'm in standard, so I don't really care. I'm actually going to pick up this, because this is how you get elemental penetration. It's the only way to do it. And we just literally steamroll everything and run out. Now this is the benefits of running a level 71 area. Obviously everything's dying in one shot.
I shall try.
You don't really have to worry about dying. If we do die, it's our own fault, so it is what it is. Nope, that's a room not to go around. Alright.
We must continue. Peering into their thoughts.
And we're up. And that is 3 of 3 wings of our level 71 replica one. Now, if you remember, I said we had a bunch of small currency, we had 29 or 39 stacked decks, I think 39, and then we got that replica Toolfall and this replica Bitter Dream. The Toolfall is probably worth like 20C, this is worth probably like 15-20C as well. Then we got a couple Exalt shards. It really adds up in comparison to just, you know, a normal map. Like, you're going to get profit back if you're going to run these. That's just going to happen. So don't expect to like waste your time or anything like that. The last reason I'm starting with a lower level one is because there aren't a lot of builds that can just steamroll through the Grand Heist on a squishy level. Like, you can't just run in with a build with no HP and expect yourself to run through the Grand Heist without dying. There's many things that can go wrong. You can get hit by an enemy that has like 4 or 5 nemesis buffs on it. You can get hit by all kinds of stuff and just one tapped, no matter what your health pool is, and just fall over dead. So that's kind of why I started with a low level blueprint, is to show you that you can get profit running the low level ones. You don't have to run all the 83 ones. As you saw, I more than got my profit back. It was definitely worth all the time and effort I spent in doing it. And would I recommend farming Heist? Yes, I definitely would. This is one of the most, if not the most profitable thing you can do right now. And I got lucky on Iron Bards, obviously, and Patience, but not even including those. That one blueprint basically got me about 2 or 3 Exalts, and it was only level 71. So, that being said, I hope this video has been informative. I hope you guys enjoy watching my videos, and if you have any questions and would like any kind of any more help with anything, then I will be glad to post some more. As I said, this was a request from one of my friends that basically said, hey, I would like to know a little bit about the blueprints or running replica blueprints, and I didn't really want to only cover replica blueprints because they all have their own merits, and I wanted to point that out. Especially, as you saw, a lot of my value wasn't even in the replicas, it was just in the rooms, and that's the same thing for all of the different blueprints. A lot of your value might not even be in the end result. You might go like 30 blueprints and not get a single good replica. It's happened to me before. It's unfortunate, but it can happen. So relying on the replica to carry your value is probably the bad thing to do. I'd recommend looking for rooms and learning how to min-max your rogues. Now, in my next video, in the next part of this, I will be posting a in-depth guide on what you're looking for, along with crafting a couple of pieces of gear to kind of show you, you know, what roles you're looking for as you're going until you can get to the point of where mine is. Mind you, mine's not perfect. It's just perfect for the way I run my Grand Heist, and that's the way I wanted it, and I kind of like set it there. Thank you very much for joining this very long video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope it is informative. Take it